Today I will be sharing the top questions asked about the Orange Crush Mini combo. So, the most asked question is, does it come with the power cord and does it come with the battery? This literally depends on where you buy it from. So I personally got mine from Sweetwater and it already came with the 9-volt battery out of the box. So if you order your amp from Sweetwater, it should have a battery already in there out of the box. So that's something to think about. The next question is, what's so special about the Orange Crush Mini? It's tiny, but packs a punch. It's portable, simple to use, and gives you that classic orange tone in a super compact form. It's great for practice or as a backup amp. Plus, it's got that signature orange grit everybody loves. The next question is, how does the Orange Crush Mini compare to other amps out there? Okay, so compared to other small amps like the Fender Mini, the Boss Mini, the Orange Crush Mini stands out with its punchy, gritty overdrive and analog sounds. It's more versatile than some others in its range because it gives you that real amp tone, not just a tiny speaker trying to mimic a bigger sound. That's something to look into. The next question is, does the Orange Crush Mini really deliver that tone in just 3 watts? Yep, it really does. Don't let the 3 watts fool you. It's not a full-on stage amp, but it's perfect for bedroom practice, home recordings, or small sessions. The sound surprisingly is full for its size, and you still get that orange warmth that everybody's looking for. The next question is, what's the sound like on the Orange Crush Mini? I gotta say, it's got a classic warm, crunchy sound. The clean tones are nice, but where this amp shines is with overdrive. Turn up the gain and it gets that raw, saturated tone that orange amps are known for. The next question is, can you actually gig with this Orange Crush Mini? For a small gig maybe, but it's definitely not a main stage amp. You could use it as a practice amp at home or take it to a small intimate venue if you're micing it up. But for a bigger venue, nah, you'll need something more powerful. The next question is, how does the clean sound on the Orange Crush Mini sound? It's pretty decent for a tiny amp. It's not gonna give you sparkling Fender clean tones, but it can handle clean tones pretty well for bedroom practice or low volume jamming. The next question is the amp good for beginners or more experienced players? It's great for both. It's super simple to use, so beginners won't have a hard time getting used to it, but experienced players will still find it useful for a second portable amp or as a fun little practice tool. The next question is, can I use this with a pedal board? Absolutely. It works well with pedals. Just keep in mind that you may get a little noise if you crank up the gain too much, but generally pedals will sound great through this little amp. The next question is, how does the Orange Crush Mini handle distortion? It handles distortion pretty well, especially for an amp this size. It's a mini. The analog overdrive sounds really gritty and natural sounds. If you love that rock or classic orange distortion, this is right for you. This is right up your alley. The next question is, how portable is the Orange Crush Mini? This is super portable. It's small enough to toss in the backpack or gig bag. You could take it anywhere, and it's lightweight enough to carry around without breaking your back. The next question is, how long does the battery last on the Orange Crush Mini? On batteries, it can last quite a while, like 10 to 12 hours depending on your usage. It's great for practice sessions where you don't want to mess with the power cord. The next question is, how can I use the Orange Crush Mini for practicing at night without waking up the whole house? Yep, definitely. You can practice at a pretty low volume without disturbing anyone, but still get a nice tone. It's a great option if you're in an apartment or have neighbors who are not fans of loud music. The next question is the sound any good for metal or hard rock on the Orange Crush Mini? It can do a decent job for metal or hard rock if you crank up the gain. It won't get super heavy or overly saturated like bigger amps, but for a small practice session, it can pull off some heavier sounds. The next question is, can you really get a good sound out of this tiny amp? Yes, surprisingly for its size. It sounds way bigger than you'd expect. It's got that classic orange overdrive and a decent amount of clarity for clean tones. The next question is, does the Orange Crush Mini have Bluetooth or any wireless features? Nah, it doesn't have a Bluetooth, so you'll still be working with a classic aux on the back here. So that you can work with the aux input and cables, but it's a tiny amp. Like, let's not complicate things, right? The next question is, does the Orange Crush Mini have a headphone jack for silent practice? Yes, it does. Right there. It has a headphone jack, so if you're practicing late at night and don't want to wake up anyone, just plug in the headphones and go to town. One thing I've noticed about this is that you can just plug your headphones in and it's not like a guitar port or speaker port on the back here. That's one thing to note. The next question is, how does the aux input work? Can I play along with tracks? Yes, you can. You can plug your phone or MP3 player in the aux input and jam along with your favorite tracks. It's a good feature for practicing music or just having fun playing with backing tracks. So, that's pretty fun. The next question is, can you use the Orange Crush Mini for home studio recordings? For home studio recordings, it's great for demos or just laying down ideas. You'll probably want to mic it up to get the full sound, but it can definitely hold its own in the home studio environment. The next question is, what about durability? Will it last after taking it everywhere? Let's be honest, it's pretty durable. It's built solidly, so you can toss it around in your gear bag without worrying too much. But like any gear, don't drop it from crazy heights. The next question is, can it handle different types of guitars like humbuckers or single coils? For sure. It works well with both humbuckers and single coil guitars. You'll get a different flavor depending on what you're playing, but the amp's versatility is enough to handle both without any issues. The next question is, how easy is it to use the Orange Crush Mini for someone who's really new to amps. It's super easy. The controls are pretty straightforward. Gain, tone, volume, no complicated settings here. So you just turn the knobs and dial in the second you want. It's simple as that. The next question is, what's the tone control like on the Orange Crush Mini? It's pretty basic. Just one tone knob, but it gets the job. You know, you can dial it to suit your taste. It won't give you that super fine-tuned control, but it's enough to shape your solid sound. The next question is there a noticeable difference in sound when you use the amp on battery or versus power adapter? Not really, but it sounds pretty similar whether you're on batteries or using an adapter. It might lose a tiny bit of volume when on the battery itself, but that's about it. The next question is, how does the Orange Crush Mini compare to small amps like the Fender Mini Deluxe or Boss Katana? Compared to the Fender Mini, the Orange Crush Mini definitely has more grit and overdrive, while the Katana Mini is more clean focus with a wider variety of tones. The Orange is simpler but offers a more classic rock vibe. The next question is, can I use the Orange Crush Mini as a practice amp for bass too? So for bass, technically, yeah, bass guitar. It will work for a bass guitar if you're noodling around, but it's not really made for bass. You're gonna lose tone, low end punch that you'd get from a real bass amp. So that's something to consider. The next question is, what's the maximum volume of the Orange Crush Mini? Can it fill a room? It's definitely loud enough for personal practice and small jam sessions, but it's not going to fill a large room on its own. If you need more volume, you'll have to mic it up to get a bigger, or just get a bigger amp. The next question is, what does the analog overdrive really mean for the sound quality? So analog overdrive. This means that it's not relying on digital modeling to create distortion. It's a more natural, organic sounding overdrive that you'll get from the actual security. So it's basically like the circuits. It just feels warmer and richer. The next question is, does the Orange Crush Mini work for both electric and acoustic guitars? It's primarily built for electric guitars, but you can use acoustic electric if you want. It won't give you an acoustic vibe like a dedicated acoustic amp, but it'll work for if you're stuck in a pinch or whatever. But I recommend just getting an acoustic amp for an acoustic electric guitar. The next question is the Orange Crush Mini a good backup amp for gigs? Yes, of course. This is the main reason to buy one. It's a solid backup. If your main amp goes down, you could definitely use it in a smaller setting, or you could mic it up for a quick fix in a larger venue. The next question is, can I use it for street performance or busking? For street performance, it can work, but you'll need to mic it up or be in a quiet location. It's great for small spaces or intimate settings. The next question is, how loud is the speaker on the Orange Crush Mini? It's loud for its size. but it's not gonna blow the roof off. If you're just practicing or jamming with one other person, it's perfect. But for more volume, you'll need a bigger amp, unfortunately. The next question is the Orange Crush Mini price worth it? Yes, for the price, it's a solid deal. You're getting a classic orange tone and a super portable package. It's great for practice and it'll last if you take care of it. The next question is, can I use the aux input to play tracks while jamming with a buddy? Definitely. You can plug in your phone or laptop and jam along with whatever music you want. It's a fun way to practice while using backing tracks. The next question is there a noticeable difference between the Orange Crush Mini and the bigger orange amps? The bigger orange amps have more powerful, wide range tones, but the Crush Mini gets you a piece of that orange sound for a fraction of the price. The next question is, how does the amp sound when using headphones versus using it with a speaker? With headphones, you'll get a much cleaner, more direct sound. Through the speaker, it's a bit more dynamic and has more character, especially if you crank it up. The next question is, how does the tone, or what kind of tone do you get when you dial it all the way up? You get a saturated, overdriven tone that's perfect for rock and classic orange crunch. If you're into that gritty, dry, or dirty tone, you'll love it. The next question is, does the Orange Crush Mini have a built-in tuner or any other special features? Yes, it does. Check it out. So this has a built-in tuner. Let me flip it the right way so you can see it. So this thing comes with a built-in tuner, if you can see that. So it comes with a built-in tuner. And that's something always to look forward to when you're gigging around and you don't have a tuner on hand, so that's something to consider. So the next question is, how long did it take for you to get used to the controls? Honestly, it's so simple. It took about 10 minutes to figure out how to get the sound I wanted. It's all about tweaking the gain and tone control until it feels right. The next question is, how do you clean and maintain the Orange Crush Mini? You keep it in a safe place to avoid damage and dust it off occasionally. If it doesn't require much maintenance, just treat it like any other gear. The next question is, what's the best way to mic up the Orange Crush Mini for recordings? Use a small condenser mic or dynamic mic and position it near the speaker. Experiment with the placement to find the best balance between the direct sound and room tone. So that's something you really have to listen to depending on your room, your location, different sounds. The next question is, does it work well with other brands of guitar or equipment? Yep. You can get it. You can plug pretty much any electric guitar in and it'll work fine. You can also use pedals, so mixing and matching with other brands won't be an issue here. So the next question is, how does the Orange Crush Mini hold up in extreme weather or conditions? It's not waterproof or weather resistant, so keep it dry. If you're gonna go outside, make sure you're in a place where it has some type of shelter. The next question is, what are the most common problems people face with the Orange Crush Mini? The biggest issue tends to be with the battery life running out too fast or getting too much feedback when the high gain pedals. Just make sure you're using it in the right context. The next question is, does the Orange Crush Mini have a headphone output for private practice? Yes, it has a headphone jack, so you can practice quietly at any time, perfect for late night sessions when you need to keep the volume down. The next question is the Orange Crush Mini good for acoustic electric guitars? It works, but it's not a dedicated acoustic amp, so you're not gonna get that supernatural full acoustic tone. It's better suited for electric guitars, but it does okay for acoustic electric guitars in a pinch. The next question is, can I replace the speaker in the Orange Crush Mini if I want to upgrade it? Technically, you could swap out the speaker, but that would void any warranty and it might not give you a huge upgrade in sound quality due to the amp's limitations. The next question is, can you get a blues tone with the Orange Crush Mini? Yeah, with the gain down a bit and the tone adjusted, you can get a nice warm blues tone. It's not as clean as some other amps, but it can totally do that dirty blues vibe. The next question is, how does the Orange Crush Mini hold up using high gain pedals? It does okay, but be mindful of feedback. When you crank up the gain and use distortion pedals, it can get noisy if you're not careful with your setup. The next question is, what's the warranty like? Does it come with a good guarantee or protection plan? It usually comes with a standard 1 year warranty, which is pretty solid for a product in this price range. Just make sure you register your product. The next question is, where can you get the best deal on the Orange Crush Mini 3-watt micro amp? Check out places like Sweetwater, where I got mine from, Guitar Center, or even Amazon. Sometimes local music stores will have some good deals too, but always compare your prices before pulling the trigger.